Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 50 of the Greatest History 2 Resolve. Last time, we went into the prison, and it was discovered that Vigil, he had resigned 10 years ago from his position as warder. And then we came back to Sherlock's agency, and we found out that basically Gregson is dead. So now we gotta learn about how Gregson is dead. Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was really shot? I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene. Where did this take place? A little rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street. The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. I should know. Iris and I stalk his home on a daily basis. We want to make sure that he is safe because he is a cash cow for us. Yeah, I can easily imagine basically Gregson, he's asleep at night, and then he hears a creak in his room. Oh, who's there? And then basically he looks up, he sees Iris in a rocking chair. Iris is just rocking back and forth. Go to sleep, Gregsy. Yes, my lord, your ladyship. And then Gregson, he tries to sleep, he's closing his eyes, he's whimpering, and then Iris walks up to him and just strokes his cheek. You're very precious to me, Gregsy. And then Iris kisses his forehead. He was perhaps investigating a case then. The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around here. Around there. Oh, how strange. The boss he was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but one day I was going to show him. I'd become a proper detective. Oh, Jenny, oh, Gregsy, I don't know who I blackmail. So who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is? They got him already. Oh, already? They caught the shooter so soon? A witness reported something was going on, and the boys got straight down there and took care of him. Who? What other person did this? I still can't believe it myself. Gina. It was the Reaper. Apparently, I don't know the full details, but apparently Zieks was planning some mob to come by this place. He was going to throw rocks at your house. He was trying to tell you to get out of town. But Gregson, the boss, he wouldn't have that. He was he stood in front of the mob. He was saying, no, you're not getting her ladyship. Her ladyship lives there. And then he got angry, and he was saying, you better move, or I'm going to do to you what I'll do to him. And then the boss, he just stood his ground. He started shaking his fish and chips. He started throwing fish and chips at him. But then he took out his gun, and he was like, bang, bang. And then they started throwing rocks at him. And I forgot to turn the timer on. Wait a minute, you don't mean they arrested Lord Van Zieks for it? That's right, the Reaper's bloke's gone and shot the boss. No, Lord Van Zieks. Damn it, Gregson! You have given information to my Lord Niboni's friend for the last time. No, Lord Van Zieks, please, you have to understand. Her ladyship would destroy me. She'd kill me if I didn't comply. Well, now guess what? I'm going to kill you for not complying with me. So, send my regards to Clint. Are you quite sure, Mr. Straight? It's Barok Van Zieks the police have arrested? I saw him with me own eyes in the interview room at the yard. I don't believe it. But there were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him. So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses? That they heard the gunshot apparently, and when our bloke got to the scene, there was only the boss and the Reaper bloke in the room. But there's no way Lord Van Zieks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it either. Before you ask, I am going to be charging a boatload of money for this case. What? It's Gregson! You gotta help the boss! I'm sorry, Mr. Strayed, but if I don't pay the rent, then Iris and I would be joining him. Thank you for informing me, Mr. Strayed. This really is the most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing. Well, anyways, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come on. Please come in all as soon as you can. You gotta help. It's a detective's lot up here wherever some sinister plots unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Sorry, mucus. Mr. Sholmes. What? What juice is there in being a great detective if I failed to see something like this coming? How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson, my cash cow from Rants magazine! He was a source of food for us! We got him to get us endless fish and chips! Mr. Naruto, I shall leave at once to begin my investigation. Of course, yes. We will too. It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyways. Until later, then. Inspector Gregson dead, and Lord Van Zieks arrested.
Ryuunosuke! I've called you a handsome. It's waiting outside.
Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Mr. Sato?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the prison. Local prison cell 1. There he is, Lord Van Zieks behind bars.
So it's true, he really was arrested.
He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us.
Lord Van Zieks.
Lord Van Zieks. Fancy meeting you here. Ironic. Ironic. I'm in a cage, yet an animal like you roams free. How cruel is our world. The last place on earth I'd like to be, with the last person on earth I'd like to see. I couldn't very well not come. Why, to gloat over your victory? How you will laugh as I am taken to the gallows? We heard what happened, that Inspector Gregson was... Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But...
Forgive me, Lord Van Zieks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful with us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth behind his death. You must help us with our investigations, please!
There's really nothing I can tell you. What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? This? The yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with the suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance.
Ow! Who might that be?
Someone you know, as it happens. Albert Havre. That's right, I got this letter just this morning, and apparently Albert's curse has rubbed off on me. I am now in prison because of him. Of course, yes. I keep forgetting they went to the same university. And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zieks never minces his words. But they seem to have less bite than usual somehow. Yes, my plan is to have you as my defense lawyer. You will use the summation examinations and your wiles in order to free me. And then I shall strike down all those who wronged me. I think you know what this is worn by. I think you know that this is worn by people in my country to show that they're defense lawyers, don't you? And I think you know that I believe you to be merely playing a lawyer craft initially. But it would seem your armband may actually imply some dormant talent after all. Lord Van Zieks, do you mean? Let's hope you wake up soon. Yes, I was clearly daydreaming. I almost thought I got a compliment there. It's not for me. Ah, that's how I was showing you it. I suppose. If it was a black-headed league, you would have no hesitation. None whatsoever. Sadly, my own hair could be no more described as black as it could red. What colored league should I then join? I'm a monster! Even those depraved redheads have a form of organization, some coherency, but what do I have? I am alone in this world. I am no better than you, my Lord Nipponi's friend. Yes, Van Zieks can join the purplish gray-haired mullet league.
People are troubled by the most unexpected problems at times.
What's that? Ah! Okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure that my sound was coming through my headphones and not my TV. It's just something I was hoping to ask your opinion about, that's all. It's a serious crime for the defense to attempt to extract information from the prosecution by illegal means. That's right, I'm prosecuting myself. Alright, I get the message. But I don't see what's illegal about me asking. Okay, let's converse. Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zieks? What happened? How much do you already know?
We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street. And that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested. We were told that there was nobody else in that room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot.
Then you're well informed. And there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But the gunshot, obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. Though I could make an exception for you, my Lord Nipponi's friend. I also heard the noise, however. Before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. So he doesn't actually know what happened.
If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with?
I don't need to answer that.
Oh.
After all, you're not representing me. He's going to need a lawyer, though. I'll be damned if I have to rely on your summation examinations. Who is going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zieks? Anyone other than you, I should imagine.
Would I be right assuming that you have no representation as of yet?
Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, of all the defendants I prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now.
Surely not.
I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? Oh, no, I didn't. But they will brand me as an animal because of my grayish purple hair. It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have a chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that?
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. It's just this mucus. I swear, I've just been having bad mucus attacks today. After the trial, Professor Hairbrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany. I thought,
It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I raised this passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper.
because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean?
The Reaper lacks a passport. Yes, so it seems. Your stooped little Nipponese friend, for example. You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day.
Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So Professor Hairbrain is safely back in Germany now.
He is. So, it appears our conversation has run dry.
There was a 2-second silence, that's all.
Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I would like to detain you.
Wait, yeah.
I wouldn't like to detain you.
Yes, this is what happens when you don't see the T. I was wondering, Lord Van Zieks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you.
Oh, you foolish, foolish boy. As if I would fall for your tricks. I know exactly what would happen. I say yes, I go into that courtroom, and then next thing I know, you just so happen to get me a guilty verdict. I know how it is. You trust me, do you?
Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just my feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly. Yes, this is not Dual Destinies. This is not 2028. 2027, 2028.
It's a very gracious offer, however. I trust no one.
What?
Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Nipponese, especially the lattermost.
But please.
I have no intention of engaging your services.
The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems.
I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time.
Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zieks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Fresno Street. Yes, we got the Beautiful Minds conspiracy board. All that's missing is the red thread. This really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. So this dust-ridden, rented old room is where it happened then. So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life. Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere. Oi! What do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath them all. I want the space above the ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Blimey! Ain't you got luck never gone over an house looking for dough when the owners are out of town? Gina's obviously got some unique investigative technique she wants everyone to adopt. Guys, get her all the loose change. Oh, so you turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't been here long myself. Hello again, Gina. Sholmes has only just left. You're lucky you'd missed that. He went prancing around in here, pointing at stuff and flicking that out of his, then just scampered. He finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah, he didn't even start to say nothing to no one, not even me. Gina, would you mind if we investigate too? Listen, Odo, you're a lawyer, right? Yes. Why? Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you?
Oh, poor Gina. She's never gonna forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever. Which one?
Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zieks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court.
I suppose you're right, yeah.
Go on then, Odo, get investigating. I want to know the truth about who really appeared here.
Thank you, Gina. Gina, one of those compliant detectives in the series. An empty fireplace makes a room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it?
It's thick with dust, look. I think it would be fair to say that it hasn't been used in a very long time.
In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather.
Or nobody lived here at all and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely.
No, that's right. It's one or the other. Okay, picture.
Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family members. Ah!
What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out your head.
They are, look! Mr. Naruto, quickly!
Why do I feel like this woman is familiar somehow?
Of course she's familiar. We met her only just this morning.
Ah, it's Miss Vigil.
This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Miss Vigil in here?
To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped.
I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either.
The framed photograph has been added. Court record. Okay, we can't investigate the back.
This looks like some sort of noteboard or something.
And it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper.
Ah, Mr. Naruto, look!
You mean it's an autopsy report, isn't it?
And these are case notes here, and details of the prison inmates, and update notes as well.
Yes, in fact, there are all sorts of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room?
Some old newspaper cuttings. Ah, this one here.
Oh yes, the advertisement you mean. To the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing here?
Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason.
Boards. Somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards over the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even call it a window anymore.
Well, you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room? That was totally blocked up with bricks. This one does at least seem to let in some light, so you could say
nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Excuse me. If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard. I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. The top of the candles in this candle holder one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off.
Yes, there's wax splattered on the wall behind. Look.
I suppose if a bullet had hit it.
It does seem likely to think that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body.
Now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. The candelabrum has been added. Now come on. Ever since we came here, I can't take my eyes off this thing.
Oh! Funnily enough, neither can I.
It's a hairpiece, isn't it?
It is a bright red hairpiece.
And I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where the body was found means that we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, does it? Hey, I was trying to escape from her ladyship. It was my disguise. It was my alter ego, Francois Bouvier.
And inside's a flame-colored red, too.
Yes, that's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it?
Exactly. This is a file clue, I'm sure of it.
The red Aries has been added. So I suppose this is where the victim.
That's right. The rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Poor Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away.
And would probably be under Dr. Sai's scalpel by now, if not for what happened last week. Now instead he's in Iris's. Now he's instead in Iris's half of the flat. Iris is gonna turn him into some Frankenstein monster.
Rise, Gregsy!
And then Gregson rises from the dead. No! Please no! Let me die, your ladyship!
From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball, crying probably.
Iris took him out. Iris sniped him from a distance.
Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruto? You look like you just seen a ghost.
I know it's just a rope, but, well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that blood stain next to it.
Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can even be worse than reality.
Susawa-san is so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. Oh, what's this?
It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it, in a way?
Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson?
It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zieks playing with something like this.
It's only about 8 centimeters tall. It could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record as evidence, just in case.
Yes, I agree. It's rather delightful after all, in a way.
Okay. Gun. This is presumably the murder weapon then.
Oh my, yes, it is real, I suppose.
I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan. I really know very little about them.
Ballistic markings, Ryuunosuke, we're gonna learn about it. There's only one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruto. Fire a shot.
No. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer just to ask someone who might know, I think. Okay, I think now would be a good time to end things off. Anyways, I really appreciate that you took a minute to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.